Hello everyone, you're welcome to another exciting edition of the Premier League review show on Score City where passion meets purpose. And today we are looking at the game that happened yesterday between Tottenham Hotspur and Leeds. Tottenham had that opportunity to finally go few points clear of the relegation zone, but they fumbled it against a very, very informed Leeds side. My name is Ade Damola and welcome once again. In the studio with me is Mide and Elizabeth. And today we are going to be making it as sharp as possible. Mide, let's start with the controversy. Something very, very funny happened yesterday, which involved James Maddison coming back from injury after a very, very long time off, not playing for Tottenham Hotspur. And, I pity these players with the kind of things that they go through. But let me just ask, that event that happened yesterday, was it a penalty or not?
That was quite soft. Let me be honest with you. It was too soft. But this is football now. Football has gone too soft for... Especially it's a lot easier for attackers now, especially in the box. Any sort of contact, and this is a contact sport, for God's sakes. This is a contact sport, and you expect that there will be contact. Yesterday it was quite minimal, a very soft one at that. So it was a very soft decision. It went down too easily, and the referee had no other choice. But ultimately, if that is why I give credit to players that always want to stand their ground, even after getting a nudge or something when they are being tackled. So this is one thing that we need to educate our players about. Don't go into tackles don't go down easily just because you want to win. At least there's some level of honesty in your play, and that is one thing. I think that one for me was not a penalty, but it is what it is.
Well, people might argue and people might have we've seen actually instances whereby short decisions have been given a penalty. Elizabeth, isn't it?
Well, yes, but for that incident yesterday, that was never a penalty. If you look at the intent, the guy, Martin Stells, was trying to clear the ball, and he was trying to do a bicycle kick.
No, that was for James Maddison, the one the referee ruled out in the last minute of the game.
Okay, that particular one,
yes.
Yeah, that was that was a soft penalty. But like Mide mentioned, if you give it's 50-50. If you give it, fine, and if you don't give it, it's fine. This is Premier League. We complain of the inconsistency all the time, every now and then, every match, every week. There is something controversial about VAR's verdicts in a particular incident. But for me, it is 50-50. If it's given, fine. If it is not given, it's okay.
Let's look at it. Yes, few days ago, Arsenal were lucky by the verdict of the VAR.
Yes,
they got that win.
Yes,
a draw will have actually put them under a lot of pressure. Tottenham Hotspur, they're no longer rivals. By verdict of VAR, they did not get that penalty, which was also in favor of West Ham.
Yes.
Now, the question I want to ask is, should we just take VAR away from football and let referees take final decisions?
Well, we cannot actually take off because there's a reason why VAR was introduced. And in many sports before football, a lot of sports have this video
review.
And what the difference between our own VAR and their other sports video refereeing is that the time that is being used in processing these decisions is where the problem is. You cannot take up, from that time Callum Hudson effort, crossed the line to be a goal, and that goal being chalked off was around 4 minutes. That was alone more than the amount of allocated time for the added time in that game. So why take that long if you cannot take straightforward decision? What is why I have to play 7? In fact, they have to show the referee 17 replays. In 4 minutes, how do you not? So the more you look at something, the more you want to see that there's something in it. So this is one.
Even when there's nothing in it.
So that is why I said VAR cannot go because it saves more than it kills it. But at the same time,
there are issues about angles being shown to the referee.
Exactly. Yeah. That is what I'm saying. That why show him 17 replays? Different angle from very, very unclear, not angles that are not actually giving the true picture of what actually happened. So these are the biggest issue when it comes to VAR. For me, VAR should play, and that's it.
Well, sometimes my problem with VAR or VAR, like the video assistant referee is being referred to, is the fact that sometimes the biggest problem is slow motion. You see, when it happens in real time, it's even better. But when they begin to show slow motion,
imagine having 17 replays. How can the referee now say, like, am I not getting something? Something is amiss here.
Quickly, let's look at Tottenham Hotspur.
All right.
They were playing at home. They had the opportunity to actually go, I think, 4 points clear of West Ham. Which would have actually meant that just one win would have actually secured their place in the Premier League title. Elizabeth, do you think that they bottled the opportunity finally?
Well, they've not bottled it. It's not over until it's over. If you look at they're on 38 points and they're on 38 and the same as West Ham is on 36.
36, yes.
Yeah. So and then there is somebody, there is a team. I can't remember. I think that's Nottingham Forest. That's on 43 points ahead of them.
Nottingham Forest and Leeds, they are safe already.
Yeah, they are safe. But Nottingham Forest is on 43. But what I'm now trying to say is that it is not over until it is over. My own problem with Tottenham's style of play is my concern. If you attack well, can you stay compact? Don't slip off in minutes. They score goals, but they don't most of the time, and it's very painful that they lose those their 3 points towards the end of the game. There was a particular game against Brighton that they considered that goal like 9 minutes. Even De Zerbi showed his displeasure. You know, that last kick of the game. I'm not saying you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Yes, we are sorry for you for injuries, worries that happened all through the season for Tottenham. No team will go through that journey of injuries and you expect them, to be the same that they were last season. But for me, I think they just need to, they need to stop being nervous. The reality is here that they might go for relegation, but can you just stay compact and let experience come into play? Now they have Maddison back, which is very, very late towards the end of the season, but I feel like they will not relegate. With the coach that they have is a man that I know that he can do something out of the box. But the players at the back, the centre backs, the Poro, the Roman, everybody needs to step up for them and then, stay compact when you're supposed to stay compact. Don't concede too much chances because whether we like it or not, they concede a lot of chances, and that is why they are prone to errors.
We did. Thank God Elizabeth has actually mentioned it, but this is where we finally get to Tottenham and West Ham. They are both arming themselves right now because they're under Ham. They are facing relegation, and 2 London clubs might eventually be playing the championship next season. Now, let me quickly tell you something. The last 2 matches for Tottenham, they go away to Chelsea. And the last match, they host Everton, who might in one way still sneak into the Europa Conference League. Do you think Tottenham can survive relegation?
Well, that is not something I can actually see.
With the last 2 matches that they have.
With the last 2 games they have, I don't see, because Chelsea, they want to finish the season very strong, and also Everton, like you said, they want to make Europe, and you could see that ambition in them when they faced Manchester City, a team that was gunning for the title. It was very clear that they will give it their all. In every way it presents itself. So ultimately, Tottenham, they have not shown themselves to be somebody that they have the quality, but do they have the mental fortitude to actually see it out? I don't see it.
Elizabeth, do you agree? You believe that Tottenham will not make it? You're a disability person.
Yeah, well, the reality is the reality. This is what is in front of them. They are playing at Chelsea, and we know Chelsea to have good record against Tottenham whenever they play. Form doesn't even count. Now, if you look at now Chelsea that that have picked form from a Liverpool that is toothless and all of that, they went away, they did well. Now playing at home, I think they want to capitalize on it, and then that record again would definitely want to come to party. That they always have good record against Tottenham. So I don't see Tottenham going to Stamford Bridge and doing that wonders. The highest they can do there is get a draw. So, and then if you host the Tottenham, Everton, the last game of the season, of course they want to play for pride. But there are times that you might not even do too much, and some games will happen and you don't drop. Sometimes you might not even do too much. Some people will play, some teams will play ahead of you, and then you get up. So it might favor you, it might not favor you. But right now, I just pray that West Ham, relegate and then Tottenham stays. It will be bad, honestly, for a De Zerbi to be coaching a championship team. Come on, man, it will be bad. It will be bad.
There was a time whereby Nottingham Forest was champions of Europe, and they also had their own stints in the championship. Aston Villa also had their own stints in the championship. West Ham have been to the relegation battle and they are back. Newcastle have also survived relegation, and it will be a new thing for Tottenham to go to relegation and come back. Mide, let me ask, finally, let us see how dramatic the season will end. Newcastle at home to West Ham. Who wins?
Newcastle
at home to West Ham.
Well, West Ham looks very strong mentally right now. With that performance they gave against Arsenal, that was something I never expected. And over the course of last 5 games, you could see the zeal in them to actually do well. So that game, and Newcastle been firing. So I'm seeing a draw.
A draw.
Day. Yeah,
wow.
I'm seeing a draw in that.
Elizabeth, your pick.
They lose. They go away to Newcastle. Well, they lose.
For me as a person, I think that I'll predict something that is very fantastic. That will be one for the books. Something that will make the Premier League interesting. West Ham will beat Newcastle at home, while Chelsea will draw away to Tottenham. Which means they will both be on the same point going to the final match of the season. My name is Ade Damola, and that's our review of the match between Tottenham Hotspur and Leeds. Please do well to follow us on all our social media handles at Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and X at Score City NG. Please subscribe on our YouTube channel at Score City NG. Thanks for watching. Until you next time.